Hello, my name is Chaz Jordan. I'm a first year PhD student in the Anderson Lab in plant biology.
I'm Kelly McCrum. I'm a second year PhD student in plant biology.
Hello everyone, I am Yibin Zeng. I come from Guangzhou City in China.
I am Philip Bentz, and I'm a second year PhD student in the Department of Plant Biology.
My name is Shrina Pradhan, and I am from a beautiful country called Nepal.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Tashiro, and I am so happy and so fortunate that I was able to get my dream job. And the University of Georgia and the degrees that I got from there laid the foundation that helped me get this job.
On behalf of the Integrated Plant Sciences program, I am so excited to welcome you all to our virtual recruitment. Although I had the pleasure of going through recruitment in person, I hope we can make this experience just as memorable for you all. My name is Hallie Wright, and I am a third-year PhD student in the Institute of Plant Breeding, Genetics, and Genomics. I work in Dr. Katrine DeVos's lab studying the genetics and genomics of finger millet. I'm so excited for you all to fall in love with this program and with this campus just as much as I did. For the remainder of the video, you'll get to hear what other students have to say about their experience here. I'm standing in front of Davidson Life Sciences building, home to some of our departments in IPS. What's interesting is this building is actually shaped like a DNA double helix. It's home to several of our IPS faculty where they have their labs and their students conduct research. From members of the National Academy of Sciences to fellows in their respective societies, IPS faculty are world-renowned researchers and fantastic mentors.
The faculty is the main reason why I came to this program. They are very accessible, very quick to email you back, very willing to go out of their way to help you and to make sure that you're able to flourish, because I find at a lot of different schools there is this competitive energy, but I feel like at UG, especially in the plant biology department, everyone's wanting to bring you up with a team behind you.
I think just absolutely amazing the number of professors who are the top in their field of research all at one university.
You really do have world-class faculty here. You can see in websites like the Plant Center and even in UGA's website on how diverse and how well accomplished the faculty is. That's not something I have to reiterate, but in terms of how they are as humans, that is something I want to stress.
The faculty here is like, they are so nice. They are very nice people with intelligence.
They value not just your academics, not just your research works, but you as a person having good mental and physical health. They just wanted you to have the full experience, have the full grad school experience, and not just be there to study and do research.
They're there to help train the next generation of researchers, and they know that it's their job to help create a great foundation and have the students have a really good experience so that they can go out into the world and help make it a better place.
Here I'm at the Botany Greenhouse, one of the many greenhouses where IPS faculty conduct their research. What I love about being in the greenhouse is that this is where my research truly comes to life. In IPS, the opportunities are endless when it comes to the faculty you might work with, program you can enter, and plants you can study.
One of the great things about IPS is that you get exposed to more departments. So because you're coming in through integrated plant sciences, you're getting sort of the genetic side of that, you're getting the ecology side of that, you're getting the horticulture and more agricultural side kind of all together because those professors, are all in this program together.
IPS is very special because it opens the door to a whole bunch of different departments that you could probably work in. And so it honestly expands your horizons into, yes, I want to work with plants, but in what way do I want to work with plants? So you can go and do phylogenetics, you can go into horticulture, you can go into microbiology. There is so many things you could do.
What was great about rotations is that you get a broader perspective on all of the science that goes on here, and that means that you also learn more techniques that you may rotate through, you may sort of, go through your first rotation and be like, oh, that's totally where I want to be. And I know students that got to their, second or third and went, oh, this is actually really cool, and I never would have seen this coming.
When I thought that I wanted to do a research degree outside of my own country, I started looking at different labs and different lab openings. And in that process, I came across UGA's IPS program. And I saw that it provided opportunities to rotate in different labs. So I started looking at different labs, and I saw so many resources and so many different techniques. Like, one technique is so different from another, and you get to test it out before you decide if you want to join. And that really was the key point for me to join UGA.
At UGA, there are so many resources available to graduate students. From getting your sample sequenced, to printing off your poster before your next competition, to using state-of-the-art microscopes at the Georgia Electron Microscopy Facility, UGA has you covered.
I really was overwhelmed when I came here and saw how many different techniques and opportunities and resources there were here. And because I did rotations in three labs that did kind of different stuff, I got to test out more resources and more techniques than any normal student who came in through just a department would.
We have a DNA sequencing facility at our disposal here on campus.
I have been in Davidson and Miller Plant Sciences. Their facilities are very nice. They have a lot of open spaces depending on what lab you choose to go into. And basically you'll get to use a lot of equipment. I have worked with phylogenetics equipment, and so there's a lot of interesting things that you will get the opportunity to use, even doing rotations and things like that.
Here I am at the Center for Applied Genetic Technologies, home of some of our IPS faculty and the Institute of Plant Breeding Genetics and Genomics. Whether it's stopping in on a Friday night for a social event or joining in on a journal club discussion, I enjoy spending time with my fellow peers at these events. I've truly made some of the best friendships of my life here with these people.
Having your department, having your IPS cohort, and then having sort of all of the people that you meet in between means that it's really easy to have a social life in Athens and at UGA, which is something that I feel like is not talked a lot about in grad school, but I think is really important, that you have to have time to sort of relax in order to keep up the work that you're doing regularly.
When you come in the first semester, you have a couple classes with your IPS peers that is geared towards the IPS people only, and that is when you will know your own cohort. And for me, I made two of my very good friends in IPS. We're still friends. We met through IPS.
Having people in genetics who are in my lab, they'll also tell me about we're having a movie night out on the lawn, or we're all going to go to Creature Comforts this weekend for the event they're having there, or just to hang out.
So one thing I really like about IPBGG is that it has a graduate student association that has not just a student, but also a couple of faculty members there. And I think that's a really good way to have a connection with different faculty and your peers outside of classroom or outside of lab.
In the department, the grad students have gone out of their way to host things over Zoom, host things over Discord, to bring in other people so that you know that you're not alone. Also, they know that it's hard for especially new recruits right now, so they will go out of their way to reach out to you, to check up on you, which I really appreciated my first semester.
In my cohort, we even had, this was way back in 2019, so before the pandemic, we had some IPS cohort get-together thing. It was called Friendsgiving on Thanksgiving Day, and we got together in the Plant Center for a while.
Behind me is the Georgia Museum of Art. It's a beautiful facility, and we've had the opportunity to host research symposia here. One of my favorite things about IPS is its ties to the Plant Center. The Plant Center is a multidisciplinary organization at UGA focused on plant sciences. It hosts annual fall retreats, hosts development workshops for graduate students, and even provides opportunity for grants and scholarship.
Basically, if you do plant science at UGA, you're joined into this conglomerate of people, and that's called the Plant Center. The way I describe the Plant Center to people might be strange, but it's kind of like the saying, the church is the people, not the building kind of thing. The Plant Center is the group of people that study plant science at UGA. And they put on things like the Fall Retreat and the Spring Symposium, which are two huge highlights throughout the year. The Fall Retreat especially, so it's a yearly thing. Everybody who does plant science at UGA is invited.
Behind me is downtown Athens, which is where I've made some of my best memories during graduate school. It's the perfect place to get a bite to eat, go shopping, or check out Athens' vibrant local music scene. My favorite event here throughout the year is AthFest, which is a local music festival here in Athens.
So one of the main things I was looking for whenever I was trying to decide where to move for 5 years or so, I definitely wanted to make sure that everything I needed was in that town.
I think the most reason that I love living in Athens is because the life here is so affordable.
So I loved Athens because it was the perfect size city for me. And for me, I really didn't want to have anything that was going to be too crowded, but I still wanted all the conveniences of living on a campus and having a campus town.
The bus systems here is like very good because if you are a student here, you are not only taking the school bus, you can also taking the city bus for free.
Athens, Georgia is my very first time living anywhere but my own country, and it's been wonderful so far. And I think I personally love the fact that there's so much food in Athens, so much different food in Athens, and I love the fact that it is a college town. And the people, I love the people. I think I like Athens because of how warm everybody is around Athens, I guess. Like, everybody's so warm and hospitable, and people you don't know in the street just talk to you, say, have a nice day. And I think that's one of the great part about living in Athens.
Athens definitely has, I think, the small town feel, but there's also something really nice about that too, that there is a sense of community in Athens as well.
I like here that it's a slower change in pace. There's a lot of nature trails. The Georgia Botanic Garden is here, so they also have trails, as well as like an orchid house, as well as places to walk outside.
I'm more of an outdoor person, so I really like the fact that there are a lot of lakes to go to, not just in Athens, but around as well, and then hiking trails. And then there are kayaking spots. I've already been to 2, and it's been great.
So the nightlife is pretty good. So there's a lot of bars in downtown Athens, and it's nice because the undergrad type of typical undergrad kind of bars are kind of separate from where a lot of the grad students and maybe faculty and staff might go.
There are lots of food and good breweries that you could go out with your friends, with your department people, with your lab people to hang out outside of academia.
Because it's a small town, all of the events that happen, the Halloween parade, the summer festivals, feel more tight-knit.
There's also a great nightlife if you like that type of thing. There's great bars. There's a fabulous music scene. I saw 3 of my favorite artists in the whole world right in Athens, which is amazing. And it's just a really nice city to move to. And actually, I think that it's probably too nice, and a lot of students never want to leave after they've come.
This is the Complex Carbohydrate Research Center, where many of our IPS faculty and their research labs are housed. Outside is the best spot to get some studying done, or you can go inside for a cup of coffee or listen to a great seminar. I hope you've enjoyed learning more about IPS and UGA and what we have to offer, and I look forward to seeing you here next fall.